Hello, guys. My name is Oleg, and today I have such, I hope, interesting presentation for you. So I will discuss lessons which I learned while being on site. Let me introduce myself. So I am working in Zabbix for the last 4 years, and I am working as a support engineer, so I'm working with tickets. Also, I'm working as trainer and consultant as well. So today I will focus on the consultancy, on our service. If talking about description, so in general, consultant is an expert which can provide some advice or maybe can help with some issue. But if talking about Zabbix, in general, Zabbix consultant means Zabbix expert. Because again, at the moment we have 6 consultants, and each one will work as support engineer, so we'll face it with different issues, with really complicated issues as well. So in such way we'll get deep knowledge in Zabbix. And also each our guy will work as trainer. So we'll be able to discuss any option, any button, you'll ask any tricky questions, and we'll be able to provide an answer or a solution for your task or question as well. Of course, each consultancy session is unique because we have some requirements, and to provide a suitable solution, we will check them and we'll analyze, so we'll check some. So we have no typical day agenda for a consultancy visit. At the same time, there are some things where you can expect some help from our side. And in most cases, if you're talking about consultancy, you can expect, for example, installation. You need to install Zabbix. Maybe you have no time to install it yourself. So you can always ask for help. And we'll install Zabbix, we'll discuss requirements, we'll create some templates if it's required. Also, if it's necessary, we'll add devices, we'll create notifications or something else. Another possible area is environment review. Quite common situation. After some time, we have some performance issues. So, and you cannot fix them. For some reason, maybe again, no have time or knowledge, why not? So, so you like to get some help, and we can provide it here as well. So you can check your performance, you can find root cause and fix it. We can provide some recommendations as well if it's necessary. Another area is migration and upgrade. So quite common task. It's a huge instance. We need, we cannot accept downtime. So guys, we need to upgrade, let's say, from 1.0 version to 3.0 without downtime. It's also possible and quite common situation. Also, you can migrate from one database to another one. For example, we're using Postgre, but for some reason decided to migrate to MySQL, maybe from MySQL to Oracle or in a different way. So again, migration is quite common task as well. Also, you can set up HA for you. So if you have such requirements, so again, we'll provide a solution for this task as well. And of course, there are some other areas as well. Like we need to implement database partitioning, because maybe we need to discuss or prepare some solution for our environment, some custom solution. So again, at all these areas, we can, with all of them, we can help you. If we are talking about some numbers, in most cases, we'll get requests like, guys, we need to migrate from some version, from a database, from different monitoring system to Zabbix, etc. Also, quite popular environment review and performance tuning, because in case of a problem, not always it's an easy to find a solution by yourself. In some cases, even our guy will spend hours to find how to improve situation. Now, I would like to share some lessons which I learned. And also, I will provide some examples, real-life examples from our customers. So, lesson number 1. It's quite common situation. When you discuss requirements, customer has no idea what exactly he would like to get. It's a common problem. In this situation, we're trying to help. Of course, we'll ask some questions like, what exactly do you need? So you need to install Zabbix, but in such way. So do you need HA solution? What about proxies? Do you have some remote locations? Database, etc. So again, if we know what exactly you'd like to get, we'll create a suitable solution. But if you have no idea what exactly do you need just monitoring system for network devices, for Cisco. Of course, we'll help you to find a suitable solution. Next lesson. Even if you can describe what exactly do you need, prepare a document. Because just an example. So we have such agenda for consultancy visit. We need to install Zabbix, configure some devices. Maybe you'll provide even list of devices like Cisco, HP, Linux as well as and so on. And you'd like to get some reports and notifications. my estimate. So probably I will install standalone Zabbix server. I will add required devices. I will check that we have all required templates. And I will show available reports like map, screens, so how we can visualize current problems, etc. But his estimate is different, so it's also a possible situation. So try to avoid such issues. And of course, it will take longer to configure such scenario. HA, custom templates, push notifications via some custom scripts, and some reports, custom reports. So next lesson. This one is probably my favorite. Sometimes even tiny or small change can cause performance improvements or can fix some issues. It's like probably clear for everyone. If I will provide more memory for database, will change only one parameter, in most cases it will improve situation. I have no enough polars and I can see some gaps on the graphs. I just need to start some additional and done. So I will get data instead of gaps. At the same time, it's also a possible scenario. So one simple parameter will cause different performance or other issues. And I have such example. A customer decided to improve web interface performance. And he decided to change 1, 10, 50 different PHP parameters. Looks good. And by the way, it was probably the most Tonic configuration file which I saw before. So I'm talking about PHP side. 50 parameters, like no defaults, only some like values. And during the on-site visit, I'm always asking some questions. And one question, like, guys, can you tell me your current issues? And the issue is the following. Front end, we can use to check latest data, to check received values, to check configuration. I can open a list of hosts. But when I will try to click items for a host, instead of to get list of items, instead to be able to get or change something, I will get error message. So, and of course, it's clear, like one PHP parameter is the reason of this error message. And solution is also quite simple. It looks like a simple solution, but I spent several hours to find which exactly parameter is the root cause of this issue. So again, even tiny change can cause different problems. Another example. Customer decided to use active agent registration to add new Zabbix agents. And after some time decided to change architecture. Instead of to use hostname parameter, decided to use hostname item. So instead of type hostname manually, why I need to type it so I can use some item to get it. And in the result, we can see an issue. So in the front end, we can find duplicates. The reason is simple. Zabbix will get system host name, but instead of short name, we'll get full name. And we'll send it as host name. Zabbix will check, OK, so I cannot find such host, and we'll add a second one. So again, the point is that you need to test your changes, even if you have a simple change, like change one parameter, configuration for Zabbix agent, or maybe for PHP or for database. So again, test your changes. Next lesson. Quite common situation. In case of a problem, a customer will try to fix such problem. Will wait, will ask for help, etc. In some situations, really good idea. Just an example, I can recall such case. A customer bought our service, like consultancy, and we have a problem. Zabbix, we cannot start Zabbix server. Let's check error message. And in the Zabbix server log file, we can see, please increase value cache. Really, we decided to change this parameter, and in a moment, we'll be able to start. So again, in some cases, really good idea to check and try to fix yourself. But if you have tried some options and you cannot find, or maybe if it's really a huge environment and downtime is not acceptable at all, so again, feel free to ask us any help, and we'll find root cause and fix it as well. Another lesson. Quite common situation. To be able to use Zabbix, you need to find a DB or at least know something about database. So if you'll use MySQL, you need to know how to improve MySQL performance. Not always it's necessary. I'm not talking about small environment, but if it's middle or maybe a big one. So in most cases, you need to know how to improve database performance because it's also quite important for Zabbix. So, and just several examples. Customer has a DBA. And DBA decided to improve Zabbix official schema. DBA has no idea, has no details about Zabbix database schema itself, but at the same time there are some certificates, so quite good DBA. And again, on site visit, like guys, any problems, and they can see like such issue. It takes hours to restart Zabbix server. It's not possible, like, please show me. Okay, so we can use some commands like to stop Zabbix server, stopped. Let's start, starting. Let's wait for a moment. Starting. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Starting. Let's grab some coffee, etc. And the reason was slow query. So DBA decided to delete decided to delete some index for history table, and history table is huge, and it takes some time to start. And of course, we have fixed such issue. But the point is, if you have some ideas, maybe you're a DB or maybe you are a Zabbix experienced user, so just share your ideas with us. So we can use our support ticketing system, Jira. You cannot find here a URL, but probably you know, like support.zabbix.com, you can find different projects, and also you can register feature requests. Like, guys, such new index will improve performance, and so on. Of course, we cannot guarantee like we'll implement such feature as soon as possible, but probably it's better way to change something in Zabbix. Another example, quite common task. So we cannot use housekeeper because of database size. So we like to avoid any performance issues, and we decided to use partitioning. And of course, like, why not? So I can Google, I can easily find how to configure partitioning for MySQL, for Postgre, maybe for other databases as well. And there are ready-to-use scripts, commands, even explanation why need to, or details, why need to delete some indexes, why need to add some additional. But of course, not always it's possible. Maybe you have no time to read such details and so on to understand what you're doing. And problem. Partitioning was implemented, but after some time, Zabbix is not running. We can see some gaps and so on. And the reason is, by the way, also quite simple. So partitioning script was not tested enough. So again, it may work, for example, as root user, but will not work as MySQL, etc. Of course, you probably can recall your issue related to partitioning, so maybe not. And solution, or maybe not solution, but recommendation. If you'll find some solution for partition or something else, just play a bit with Zabbix, play with database partitioning to understand what you're doing, to get some knowledge what to do in case of an issue. Zabbix has no partitions, and what I will do. So if you'll Google after this error, it will take some time. But if you'll play, you'll probably face it with this error on the QA. So you'll be able to get some knowledge, and you'll be able to fix such issue fast enough in case of a problem. Another example, but the same task. Another customer, the same task, so I need to stop partitioning. Okay, looks good, so why not? Yep, good solution. And for some reason, several history tables are huge. Strange. And of course, we have checked such configuration, and partitioning was configured for history and history UINT tables only. Housekeeper was disabled as well, so quite interesting solution, but of course we decided to fix everything and configure partitioning for other history tables as well. If we're talking about such changes like we need to add index, we need to remove some index, we need to implement or configure partitioning for some tables, it's always better to do all these changes before like real production. Like when you install Zabbix, it's better to implement everything. Because again, it will take, let's say, seconds, maybe minutes. But if you have gigabytes in Zabbix database in some table, it will take maybe hours, maybe even days to finish such task. Next lesson. I am telling such phrase every training, like, guys, it's a bad idea to store trash in Zabbix. I am talking about items, triggers, I'm talking about database as well. Doesn't help. And an example. Customer has partition configured for Zabbix as well, and history storage period 6 months and 1 year for trends. And the problem is the database size is quite big, so more than expected. So storage is full, and etc. Also, please note that you can open our documentation file. You can find some details how to calculate database size, at least approximately. So we decided to check. And there were all partitions. Looks like not a problem, but if I think about several terabytes, it was like 700 gigabytes useless data in Zabbix database. quite a lot. And of course, we changed the script and we removed all useless data from Zabbix database. And another example. So quite common situation. We need to monitor something. Devices, applications, maybe services. And the customer decided to use health check triggers like warning, critical in case of a problem with core devices. And you can see like amount such core devices, only 46 devices. And two triggers per each device. So, but the problem is that all these triggers generated 55,000 events daily. Looks like not too much, but it's more than 1 million monthly. Useless events. So again, solution looks simple for probably, I hope, for everyone, like use less sensitive expressions. Last function is a good one, but not always. And fix was as simple as well. So we have changed function and improved configurations as well. But you can see here again, even if it looks like you have no such issues like something simple, but please double check. Because it's like common situation, like on-site visit, like guys, we have here some misconfiguration, you can improve here as well, and here, and so on. The last lesson, but not the least. So in general, monitoring is really important. So if you have no idea what is going on, you will not be able to avoid issues, will not be able to prevent them as well. So again, use monitoring system as much as possible. And Zabbix in general is quite a good tool for such tasks and will help you as well. So it will help you, I'm talking about Zabbix app and team as well, to fix some issues and even avoid them. So in closing, every day is a school day. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Something I would like to add, generally with consulting and debugging difficult problems. I myself had an issue with 2 Zabbix servers and a passive proxy, and due to misconfiguration, they pulled the same proxy, which gave quite interesting results of getting a bit of the proxy data to the left one and a bit of data to the right one. My suggestion for all Ingus, if you run into such a problem, which is I couldn't debug it or find out what's ongoing, and it took me support, which was great help, and found it out after a while. But if you find such problems, ask the support for how could this be fixed by, in this example, it was by adding some code into the debug so it can be done easily. It was just a small Zabbix Next feature, but it saves all of us a lot of work, just as it had been done in the early days with 1.8 with internal monitoring. Myself was unhappy with the way it was done. I asked, what can we do? Then the suggestion, what we should add it. And I said, okay, at least for me it pays off. And I think meanwhile it will have saved 1 million of hours for Zabbix users. And so that's my suggestion to all of us. If we find such difficult problems, try to fix it in the code just one time and keep the support people finding new problems and not always solving and trying to find out the old known ones already.
Yep. Thank you for your experience. Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Oleg. Please welcome Ingus Vilnis.
So, hello everyone, and yeah, nice to see you all here. I'm going to have a quick talk about Zabbix trainings, and training is one of the things we also do apart from the consultancy, which I already told you about. Well, how many of you actually have been to a Zabbix training? Well, quite a few of people I do recognize. How many of you would like to become trained by Zabbix? Again, quite many people. So, for those of you who have not been to Zabbix training, so what actually it's all about? So that's a great event where we tell about Zabbix. We start from the very basic things like what's the main concepts and what you can do, and go to much more advanced topics. Also, well, you might be working with Zabbix for quite some time already, and you might think, well, I know quite a lot, and I have encountered this quite many times before. Well, I'm working for Zabbix for something like 2.5 years now, and I get people in my trainings with like 10 years of Zabbix experience. Well, what could it possibly be that I could tell such people? Well, also I've had people in my trainings whose initials we can find in Linux kernel. Well, then I think to myself, well, one thing is that you have those years of experience. I can say I have 25 years of Windows experience. Am I a Windows expert? Probably no. So same thing with Zabbix. Yeah, even if you have an experience, it's very many things that you can learn in a training. Yes, once we there are very many actually people who are trained and certified, and many of them are also in this room. But yeah, just some quick numbers: how many people have actually got the certificates throughout these years? And we don't have we haven't aggregated the stats for this year. But it's actually now even more than we had in the previous year altogether. So how are we doing this? So normally we do those trainings for groups of up to 15 people, because that's the size of a group what's quite easy to manage. I couldn't really imagine if I would need to, how would I give a training to a room of 200 people? No. Well, so yeah, quite a small groups, and we do presentations. We have very many practical tasks. Each student has a virtual machine that we provide, and yeah, install Zabbix, learn new features. We tell about all the features we have, and yeah, also Actually, the best thing you could ever get in the training is the ability to talk to a Zabbix trainer. And the trainer works with each of the students and answers the questions immediately. That's actually a great value added to all of this. Now, where are we doing this? We have done this in every continent in the world. Well, we haven't been to Antarctica though, but would be fun. But we provide public trainings, as well as we go to visit our customers in their companies. We have been to London, to Salt Lake City, if you want, to Yangon, Tromsø, the northmost city in the world where we have had a Zabbix training. Riga, you never guess. Such exotic and nice places where we are doing all these trainings. And yes, we do visit our customers on site, because when you give training to people in their home office, they feel better, and yeah, they also learn more. They can show you their environments, what they have. So that's also a great thing. So there are two courses actually. It's Zabbix Certified Specialist, which is currently for 3 days and covers all the from the beginning. You can actually come to this training with zero Zabbix knowledge, and within those 3 days you will be well trained. And well, then we cover architecture, installation. We actually install Zabbix on those training machines, and then go through items and triggers and all the other stuff we've been discussing here for these, well, in the conference as well. Then once we're done with the certified specialist, we advance to Zabbix certified professional. And that's another course. It's for 2 days. Usually that's Thursday and Friday, where we go into even more detail about different topics. We cover proxies, we cover low-level discovery, encryption, trend prediction, all the great things, as well as we try to squeeze in the partitioning or well, basically all the topics we had in the workshops. You can also learn even in more detail in those trainings. So then when you have been at the training, at the end of the training, we also do the exams. Some of you have tried this, and some of you did try it this morning as well. Yeah, the exam, it's an electronic test for 1 hour with 50 questions, all Zabbix related for specialists, and 70 questions for professionals. Now, of course, you must have a Zabbix knowledge to do all this, and you have to carefully listen to all the topics we're discussing throughout the training. But also a thing, I don't know why, but I very often see this on the exams, that you have to read the questions. And I can repeat this before every exam I have. Read the question. If the question is asking you to select 2 things out of something, you have 4 answers, and you select 1. So yeah, read the questions. That's a very, very important thing. And the threshold for the exams, it's 80%. And yeah, if you pass, then you get the actual certificate. Individually signed by our CEO, Alexei himself. So, once you have done all this, what you actually get from the training, you get new skills. There are, well, we kind of are in the IT industry. We work with IT every day. Yet there are so many things we don't know that we learn throughout these trainings. It's not only Zabbix, it's all around Zabbix, the operating systems, the databases, the different problem-solving techniques, everything is there. Also, you get to meet different people. If you happen to be on a public training, particularly, then yes, we do have people from also different countries doing that. And yes, very important thing in the trainings is actually exchange of experience and best practices that you have in each organization. And also very, very valuable for the trainers. We see how things are being implemented in different organizations. And then, yeah, the students talk about these topics and also get new ideas and then implement that in their Zabbixes. And the most important thing, of course, is the Zabbix skills that you learn all the topics. Every single thing that you do every day, you can learn something new. And I'm actually surprised. Kind of you know how to work with Zabbix, but even on such a simple thing like creating an item could be a challenge sometimes. And yeah, that's what you learn there. So yeah, that's what we do with the trainings. We will have now a public training right after conference, but if you're really interested, we do list them all on our website as well. So just check out what's the training schedule, and yeah, let's see what we can do for you. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see those of you who haven't been Zabbix certified. I hope to see you on one of the next trainings. So thank you, and any questions?
No questions. Thank you.